Well, we can go ahead and check off two more names off our 2020 Atlantic hurricane season list. Tropical storms Nana and Omar both form in the Atlantic Ocean, neither a real threat to the U.S. as of right now. My friends, welcome back. It is September 2nd. We are finally in September 2020, 5:15 p.m. And isn't it crazy to think that we only have, out of the 21 names picked out for this season, we have 6 left, as we have now tropical storms Nana and Omar, both in the Atlantic Ocean. We have Nana down here by the Yucatan Peninsula, and then Omar up off the east coast of the United States. Both not really a threat to the United States right now. What's coming after it is a little bit more interesting than I'd say both of these storms are. Both of these storms taking up a letter, leaving us with the possibility of Paulette, Renee, Sally, Teddy, Vicky, and then Wilfred. And then after that, we will be going into the Greek alphabet. Names like Alpha and Beta, Gamma, things like that. As we can see here, my friends, September 10th is basically that peak hurricane day. If you want to pick a day for peak hurricane season, I would say it's this entire cap of this mountain graph we're looking at here, as we are about 8 days away from that. So we are about in this area right here. So think about all we've gone through in the last couple weeks. Basically multiply that by 2, and that's what's projected to happen, maybe even more now that we are in that peak area. We're on our last week heading up the mountain, and then the next week will be going down that mountain. So we have a good 6 to 8 weeks of possible major hurricanes, if not longer. And it doesn't take much to look at a map of the Atlantic Ocean like we are here and notice that there is a lot going on. Again, we have Omar up here, then we have Nana in the Yucatan Peninsula, in the middle Caribbean over here, and then we have 2 more invests. All of the charts show the bigger of these 2 invests out here taking over the other and then possibly being a threat closer to the end of next week as we get into the Atlantic Ocean. Here is our invest chart, and clearly we can see Omar has dropped down to a tropical depression, so no longer tropical storm Omar. We have tropical depression Omar. More than likely will fizzle out, and that will be the end of this as we know it. 35-mile-an-hour sustained winds, 14 miles an hour east, also 12 knots. 1,005 millibars in pressure, which I don't think any longer really matters unless it makes its way up to more land masses up in the northeastern part of the Atlantic Ocean. Here is Tropical Storm Nana, as we said, heading towards the Yucatan Peninsula. We are at 60-mile-an-hour sustained wind. Still the possibility of Nana becoming a Category 1 strength hurricane, 999 millibars. Again, not so much really a threat to the U.S. at this moment. Still worth noting as these 2 names have now been used. The next of which could very well be right here. Disturbance number 2, 60% chance of cyclone formation in the next 5 days. Over the next 2 days, that is a 10% chance. So likely to form over the next 3 to 5 days as opposed to the 2 days, which does make sense being that it's still very close to the coast of West Africa and then has all this time to form as it approaches the United States. Now, we're going to look at some of the charts, the GFS, the Canadian model, and the European model, all of which show a bit of a Fujiwara effect here. That's when 2 storms basically interact with each other. They swing around in almost a circle type formation, and the bigger of the 2 usually comes out as the winner. It doesn't mean that they combine forces and it's this giant scary storm. It's usually the stronger of the 2 just continues on with its lifespan, absorbing the smaller of the 2 storms, and I'll show you that now. Here is our Canadian model set for September 2nd, the CMC model. This is our Canadian model, and you'll see here what I mean by the Fujiwara effect. So I'm going to drag us up so we can get the cursor in the screen as well, and I'm going to move forward. You're going to see 2 low pressure systems, and you're going to see that back end one, which is also represented right here. It's going to flip over top of this one and kind of dissolve it into one, and then they're going to come out at a shallow angle into the Atlantic Ocean. And keep an eye right here, and we'll show you that. So there's that first low pressure system, the first invest, and here's the one with the 60% chance. And you can see that it kind of topples over it, and they kind of swing around each other, and the smaller of the 2 gets absorbed. So I'll show you that again really quick. That is the Fujiwara effect, and that is what you've been hearing about the last couple weeks, as people have been bringing up pretty often in the comments section. It's when the bigger of the 2 storms or 2 storms interact with each other in open water, and the bigger of the 2 usually ends up absorbing that smaller one and then moving on. So, and this is what I wanted to take a look at as well. This is my biggest concern as of right now out of Omar, Nana, and this invest. The invest is certainly my concern. I know we're looking a little ahead of time here, but still, neither of these tropical storms that we're dealing with right now are really going to be a threat to anything but the Yucatan Peninsula. So I do want to put the news out for the people that live in that area. But OMAR is well outside the east coast of the U.S., making its way farther to the east. We won't have to deal with that anymore. And Nana down there in the Yucatan is expected to kind of clip land and then kind of break off out into the Pacific after it kind of dissipates over Mexico. So I don't think it's going to be a major deal. But we will check out the European chart now and then the GFS chart, and we will show you on all these charts that Fujiwara effect is being predicted to happen with the two invests down in the Atlantic right now, with the bigger of the two surviving. And we'll see it again on the European model here. If you take a look in that corner, there we go. It kind of flips around, and there's the two right here with a third low coming off the west coast of Africa. Not surprising this time of year. And then we have the bigger of the two absorbing the smaller one and then becoming a pretty significant storm out to the northeast of the Lesser Antilles and Leeward Islands. So this is what I'm looking at right now to be the next potential issue for the United States if it does get caught in the Bermuda Atlantic pressure and it's forced to the west before it can actually turn up into the ocean and become nothing. It may become something being pushed to the west into the warmer waters. And we could see that all the way to the end of the data here on the European model. Now, the GFS chart has a little more data. We can look more into the future. You don't always want to do that because a lot of these charts change over a short period of time. But once again, you can see OMAR right here. Here's Nana. And here is the beginning of that first invest. You're going to see the second one come off and cause that Fujiwara effect as we move forward into time. You can see it right there. Two lows flip over each other, and then we usually end up with one. In this case, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, according to the GFS. 4 low-pressure systems coming off the west coast of Africa, all with the potential of becoming cyclones. So we will just take a look at the near future going ahead, and all of these charts have a low-pressure system surviving and coming towards the Leeward and Lesser Antilles Islands, whether it's a direct shot at them or a little bit to the north. A little bit of an update on Hurricane Laura that we experienced. Category 4, 150-mile-an-hour winds. Okay, we are approaching $9 billion in damage between all the areas it hit and 59 reported deaths. Once again, that is a storm that will go down in the record books as one of the worst storms to ever hit Louisiana, and on record as the worst storm to ever hit the western coast of Louisiana in the Gulf. And once again, my friends, taking a look at this already record-breaking hurricane season, we are already through letter O, that is OMAR, the currently active tropical depression off the east coast of the United States right now being downgraded as we speak, and then Nana is the more active of the two down by the Yucatan Peninsula. And then, as I said before, we have Paulette, Renee, which I still have a feeling is going to be a significant hurricane. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. We'll see what happens when we get to R. At this pace, we're going to go through all these names: Paulette, Renee, Sally, Teddy, Vicky, and Wilfred. And then, as I said, we will go on to the Greek alphabet, Alpha, Beta, and names like that. It has been done before, so it's not out of the realm of possibility, and we are heading in that direction, which seems to be a lot quicker than we had hoped. So, all right, my friends, that is the news for right now. Once again, OMAR exiting stage right, I guess you could say, heading to the east. Nana making its effect on the Yucatan Peninsula and then parts of Mexico. And then we got to take an eye and keep an eye out on these two invests right here, one of which looks like it wants to form a 60% chance over the next 5 days. Certainly worth watching. We're going to see that Fujiwara effect take place on a small scale. We're not going to see two major storms pull that effect. It's going to be two smaller storms with the possibility of one of them becoming a possible major hurricane. So plenty more this season to go, my friends, and more signs in the atmospheric conditions going on lately are pointing to the potential for more major hurricanes before this season's over. I myself believe that will happen, and we're going to be here to report on all of it. My friends, if you enjoy this content, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Every little bit helps, and I want nothing more than to be able to put out useful and important information to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you next time. I'll be reporting tomorrow, early day, to keep an eye on Nana and OMAR and the potential for another major hurricane in the Atlantic. Thank you so much, my friends. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.